When you wake up, there are no plans or texts. Just your silence, without any interruptions. That's when the pressure and terror hit you. The longing to be required by someone who is. Most men run at that time. But what if I informed you that this quiet is just the start of something that males are taught to be unstoppable? That being alone is a failure. If you're single, you're behind that. When someone chooses you, you have to be doing something incorrect, but that is untrue. The man who embraces isolation is the truth, turns into the strongest iteration of himself. The individual who passes by himself, choosing is creating something more profound than. This video is not intended for anyone to view. It's for men who are prepared to stop. Everyone, stop pleading for attention. Link and begin to transform into someone. It cannot be disregarded. This is for a man seeking clarity, control, and total control over his life. If you're that man, remains at my side in a world where honors noise. The man who makes the decision in a world that is fascinated with, immediately satisfied. The man who waits to discipline and sharpen oneself, turns into an elite. Isolation is not the issue here. This has nothing to do with escaping people. It's also about coming back to oneself. Many males switch jobs with women to pursuing a career, friend group to friend group, approbation in the hopes that someone will confirm their worth, but they never pause to inquire about what occurs if I just sit and stop chasing. What occurs with me is change, and I'll demonstrate it to you today. How being alone changes everything from your standards, your concentration, and your presence. Once you no longer require others to recognize your worth, they begin observing you effortlessly. The anxiety of the most terrible thing is quiet sound. For a lot of men, it doesn't shout it out, does not condemn or threaten, but it discloses all information. The instant the world becomes silent and the alert cease, and nobody is standing next to you in the bed, the actual conflict starts, because now nothing remains to divert your attention. No drama to watch, no one to entertain, reply to, no dialogue in order to conceal. Only you are confronted with your own ideas, and for the majority of guys, that's a terrible program they have been evading. You sit there all their lives, and your hidden thoughts begin to surface. Acknowledges the embarrassment the voices are telling you. The concern that no one will notice you is insufficient. Will never truly love you. In all honesty, regarding the pretense you've been acting, you don't mind that girl that left you. You never submitted an application for that job. Version of you that you said you would become, but it never came to pass. Men jump from one because they are rushing in connection to another. For this reason, they continue pursuing something that distracts them. It's not about them. It's not about likes, girl. The goal is to avoid having to sit in that quiet and inquire about the actual inquiries. What do I stand for, and who am I? Do I feel most proud of the man I've grown into? Those are questions that guys seldom ask because they are already aware of the solution, and they dislike it. Yet this is the place where the really growth does not begin in the gym or the absence of clubs and motivating podcasts. The instant you stop, growth starts, escaping quiet and choosing to confront. You sit there uncomfortably with it head on. You allowed the agony to increase. Self doubt echoes, leaving you feeling empty, and you won't load it with inexpensive distractions that require greater bravery than seeking acceptance will ever do, because something strong was present in that silence. Occurs initially, and your mind resists. Throws all of one's memories and fears at you're pleading to leave, but if you remain with it, if you maintain your composure, changes in your thoughts and starts to calm. The noise subsides, and behind all the mayhem, you get insight and understand that you're still standing. You understand that those you are not defined by your thoughts, they simply come see you. You are not your fears. Your past does not define you. You're not the you believe that other people are judging you. Are the men who confronted challenges and stayed his own darkness and chose not to flee, which is rare. That's a true detox of approval. Addicts make up the majority of guys, and they don't even. I am aware that it is not to drugs or drink, but to an equally perilous approval. They check their phones after waking up. Did anyone find that post interesting? She texted back. Was I noticed by anyone? It seems innocuous. However, it's a trap rather than a dependency. And it's taking your admiration and strength. Seeking is imperceptible and concealed. The overthinking behind the civility. False grins and affirmations all the time when you know. You begin molding your whole living around what other people may believe. You say the appropriate words to refrain from dispute. You conceal your true ideas to accommodate your behavior tolerance. You detest being loved, and gradually you ignore your identity. Acceptance makes you weak since it diminishes your sense of value. Reliant on the response of another person, you grow afraid of being despised, misinterpreted, and disregarded, so you attempt to. You will gain respect if you please everyone, by anyone, but this is the actual truth. When you let something go, power starts. Imagine waking up without having to anyone's consent to feel secure. Imagine expressing your beliefs without squirming as they leave those who take more than they give while they're by themselves. Without fear as you're aware that you're sufficient without continual assurance. This is the result of detoxing from approval. You immediately cease responding to texts. You pause merely to appear interested. Changing your principles merely to maintain. Stop apologizing to those who make you feel comfortable. You start filtering for your boundaries. Individuals according to your criteria rather than based on if they think well of you and what occurs. People begin to notice you, but it's not because you're trying this time. You're trying to impress them because you're too concentrated on a much more significant task. Women perceive your self-respect. Pals feel it, even if they are strangers. When not attempting to be selected, as you have already made your own decision. Such vitality is uncommon, and it's most men strive to be magnetic, appreciated, but the men who are looked up to it is the men who are remembered who don't give up because they're conceited, but as they have a clear ground oriented, they are aware of their values. And if someone finds it objectionable, that's okay, as they're not bending. At first, approval detox is cruel. Experience the withdrawal you wish to describe. You want to be understood for who you are. Wish for everyone to concur with your choices, but that emotion wanes and it is replaced by freedom and tranquility. Confidence without delivering results. Turn into the man who enters a space and doesn't seek attention but becomes. People only remember you when you speak less, but your words are more important. You walk with composed assurance and in a globe full of artificial and loud noises. The power of silent self-respect. Turns out, this isn't about. It's about alignment, not disrespect. Don't belittle others, you simply don't. Give them emotional reign over you. Declare that you don't have to be loud. Need not demonstrate that you don't need validation as you have already done so. You are the men who made the world a different place. Are not the ones that enjoy the company of. They are the ones that stayed, everyone. Genuine to themselves, even in situations where uncomfortable, even if it wasn't widely accepted. Therefore, consider whether you are living in a that appeals to others, or do you live a life that brings you pride if you wish to reach your full potential. This is where to start. Give up pursuing attention and favor. Give up attempting to be selected and become the man who consistently picks himself, until no other person's viewpoint is greater. Power greater than your own, you stop seeking respect and beginning to demand it. Clarity by isolation, every man's life has a time when the fog lifts, but the noise doesn't cause it. It takes place in seclusion and silence. Clarity arises there, you don't recognize the extent to which your thinking isn't, till all else disappears, yours. Friends' expectations on social networking. Everyone's opinions are drowned out. Your tone, and the moment you take a step back, and allow yourself some breathing room, you hear something you haven't heard before. Heard your own thoughts for a long time. At that point, you realize what you truly don't want, what you were instructed not to. What society advised you to pursue, but what ignites your soul? Perhaps it's liberty, perhaps it's discipline. Perhaps it's a legacy that only you comprehend. Isolation that becomes evident, similar to cleaning the mirror, as well as the first time you're not the others anticipate, but the one that's actually, you're reactive in the midst of the cacophony. Help this channel by liking, subscribing, and by leaving a comment. You are assisting us.